Hello everyone and welcome. This presentation would be about the reliability of the metric to evaluate the ergonomic principles of assistive systems based on ISO92419. What is an assistive system? In the DIN document, it is defined as technical components hardware in combination with logic software with the goal of supporting user in carrying out an action and of optimizing the external load. Who are the users of an assistive system? The WHO classifies people in need of assistive systems as people with disabilities, older adults, people with non-communicable disease, people with gradual functional decline, and people with mental health conditions. But again, in the DIN document, it is mentioned that individuals who do not have any specific disease or decline in abilities are also included as users of assistive systems. Therefore, in this research, everyone can be our potential users. The DIN is defining how to have an ergonomic design of assistive systems and describes 6 principles for their development, which are acceptance, safety, security, and privacy, controllability, optimization of resultant internal load, adaptability, perceptibility, and identifiability. There is this question: how do you measure them? How to know if a system is fulfilling these principles? Can we call a system usable or ergonomic based on this document? In 2022, a paper was published that is introducing a metric to do so. It is named a metric to evaluate the ergonomic principles of assistive systems, which introduce a questionnaire with 110 questions about each principle and their dimensions. We need an assistive system to conduct a test on it, so we made a list of possible systems that could be our test subject. We compared them based on the level of their complexity and the level of their assistance. Finally, we have chosen Amazon Echo as a complex assistive system that performs various tasks and helps the user in different ways, so we can be sure that the questions are applicable in most cases. We asked users of Amazon Echo to fill out the questionnaire online. The questionnaire was prepared in English and German language. We had 18 participants, which was the minimum number that we needed to make the next step. This number was calculated with the Bonnet formula, which is used to define how many users are needed to calculate Cronbach's alpha reliably. Who were the participants? 13 of the participants in this research lived in Germany, 1 in Italy, 1 in Canada, and 2 in the US. 1 individual did not specify their place of residence. The gender distribution among the participants included 8 women, 8 men, and 2 participants who did not disclose their gender. Their ages were between 26 and 72, with an average age of 39 years. How did they use the system? We listed some possible usages of the system for the participants to see how they are deploying the system. Among the participants, the most common use of Amazon Echo was for listening to music, with 16 of them indicating this as their primary usage. On the other hand, only 1 person reported using Alexa for playing games, and none of the participants utilized features such as locking the door or taking pictures. To see if the metric is reliable or not, we use Cronbach's alpha. In this study, not applicable is a valid answer, since we gave the not applicable as an option to participants, so they can choose it if the question is not applicable to their usage. Therefore, we use an adjusted formula that includes these answers. In general, an index higher than 0.7 signifies questionnaire reliability. For the entire questions, Cronbach's alpha was calculated to be 0.93, and when examined individually for each principle, all figures had higher than 0.7. Notably, the highest value was attributed to safety, security, and privacy by 0.91, while the lowest was associated with perceptibility and identifiability, 0.76. Because the key question was to test the questionnaire, thus we want to share our experiences and learnings. Similar questions. We identified repetitive questions in different forms. For example, I find the system scary versus I find the system intimidating. This leads to potential confusion, especially for non-native English or German speakers. imbalance in questions numbers. Another issue was the difference between the number of questions among principals. For example, 49 in acceptance, but only 4 in controllability. That makes the comparison between principals unreliable. Negative questions framing. Also, there is an inconsistency in the use of negatively framed questions with only 4 marked for reverse scoring that causes confusion or errors. Survey fatigue. In general, it can be said that the questionnaire is too long. About 110 questions do cause participants fatigue, or participants express exhaustion, affecting the quality of responses. Based on the learnings, we created an adapted version of the questionnaire that eliminates the aforementioned issues. We removed similar questions of different categories. We balanced the number of questions per category. We revised the questionnaire to balance positive and negative questions and ensure accurate scoring. By doing that, we reduced the overall amount of questions to 80. You can have access to this metric through this QR code. Finally, we also like to refer to our paper. There you will find some recommendations for the use of the metric. For example, about the relevance of the context of use, if the metric is used as a survey or as a basis for an interview, and whether the assistive system is used in the context of users with disabilities or not, and even more. There could be done more in the future. In this research, the metric was used with the minimum number of participants to calculate Cronbach's alpha. This research can be repeated with more participants to confirm the accuracy of the data and the results. Still, this is a new metric, and having more research and studies using it and sharing the experience will give us a better insight into the usability of the metric itself. On the other hand, it is good to have data gathered by using the metric on other assistive systems with different levels of complexity. We would be happy if you use the metric and share with us your feedback. Of course, we will be there for you in case you have any questions or doubts in application of this metric. Please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you.